What's up everyone, Alex here. If you're new to the Shin Megami Tensei franchise, you probably didn't know that there are many different sub-series underneath it. From Persona, Digital Devil Saga, Strange Journey, to Devil Survivor, each series offers its own flavor, often utilizing the same cast of demons in unique and cool ways. And even under these sub-series, there are even smaller sub-sub-series. Take Soul Hackers, for example, which was meant to be a follow-up to Devil Summoner from 1995, with the latter spinning itself off into its own series in 2006 featuring Raido Kuzunoha. With the announcement of Soul Hackers 2, and the notable absence of both Shin Megami Tensei and Devil Summoner in its moniker, Atlus intends to spin this off much like Persona before it. And with so many folks unfamiliar with this series, I'm here to answer one very important question on everyone's minds. What is Soul Hackers 2? Before we dive into that, I want to state that Soul Hackers 2 features a completely original story that is separate from the original game. That being said, if you're the type of person who absolutely must play games in order, I highly encourage you to pick up the first Soul Hackers game digitally on the 3DS while it's still available, as the 3DS store will be taken down in late March of 2023. As of this recording, eBay prices for the physical edition of this game can go up to $140, so I highly recommend picking up the digital copy while you still can. First things first, Soul Hackers 2 will be coming out on PS5, PS4, Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC on August 26, 2022. It will feature both English and Japanese voice acting, as well as subtitles in French, Italian, German, and Spanish. Oh, and it's releasing a day after Japan, which makes this a simultaneous worldwide release. To my knowledge, this is the third game Sega and Atlus have released simultaneously worldwide, with the other two being last year's Lost Judgment and Shin Megami Tensei 5. Unlike other Shin Megami Tensei games, Soul Hackers takes place in a futuristic science fiction setting. The Phantom Society, an entity that exists in both Soul Hackers 1 and 2, is a group bent on using networks as a conduit to steal souls in order to usher in the end times. In Soul Hackers 2, however, it seems like the Phantom Society is at the cusp of enacting the impending apocalypse. Ringo and Figyu, two AI agents from a group known as Aeon, have been sent out to revive fallen Devil Summoners. Through their deaths, these Devil Summoners not only represent warring factions, but also, unexpectedly, aided the Phantom Society's ushering of the apocalypse. With the fate of the Earth resting in their hands, this unlikely team will have to discover how this all happened, and find a way to prevent the apocalypse from ever happening. One of the more unique things about Soul Hackers demons is that their personality makes things like demon negotiation, combat, and party composition a lot less straightforward. As you might expect, sly demons will argue with you during negotiation, making it a pain to recruit them. That said, dumb demons, who might be easier to convince, could potentially do useless things during battle. Worse, if you somehow manage to recruit chaotic demons, they might simply refuse to do your bidding. Even worse, powerful lawful demons might outright refuse to join if paired with law-breaking demons. That said, you can improve demons' loyalty by giving them gifts or issuing specific commands during combat. While it remains to be seen if these will be fully implemented in Soul Hackers 2, I wouldn't be surprised if some form of it remains, albeit in a more streamlined fashion. Demon fusion still exists in Soul Hackers as it does in other SMT-style games, and it's done under a circus pig top. Like SMT, the original Soul Hackers had moon phases, which also determined your success during negotiations. Though the announcement trailer did not show any UI elements during exploration. Also shown was a shift from first-person dungeon exploration in the original to third-person, which makes things more familiar to newer players. As far as combat goes, hitting enemies with their weaknesses builds up your stack. In programming parlance, elements can be added or subtracted from a stack, which may imply that this is Soul Hackers' implementation of SMT's press turn system. Press turn did not exist in Shin Megami Tensei until 2003's Nocturne, and given that the original game was released in 1997, I don't think it's unreasonable to say that stack might be in fact Soul Hackers' take on press turn. Turn orders are also represented on each character, with different numbers designating who's going next. Based on these elements, it looks likely that Soul Hackers 2 will let your entire party take their turn first, followed by the opposing demon's team, alternating until all of one team is defeated, similar to SMT5. New to Soul Hackers is the Sabbath ability, a powerful attack that summons demons that'll make mincemeat out of your enemies. Soul Hackers 2 is directed by Eiji Ishida, who also directed Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Sharp FE, and Encore, as well as Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey Redux. He is also joined in the directorial seat by Mitsuru Harata, who also directed the Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology, as well as the original release of Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey. Designing its characters is Shiro Miwa, who is best known as the writer and artist for the manga series Dogs. And in case you haven't heard of the folks at Monica, this is a musical team formed in 2004 by Keiichi Okabe, who is largely responsible for composing music for the Nier series. Given that much of 2012's Soul Hackers 3DS port carried over things from the original 1999 PlayStation port, I do wonder how much more Soul Hackers will change in the sequel. And with a talented team behind it, I'm quite eager to see if Atlus can truly make Soul Hackers into its own series, much like what they did with Persona. Apart from that, I'd love to read what you think of all of this. Are you going to give Soul Hackers 2 a shot? Post your thoughts in the comments below and let's talk about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.